Hi, welcome to the PlayWrights. I'm Will.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is our little podcast.
About big plays.
This is our guest, Gaby, over here.
He doesn't speak.
He's a mute podcast guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really great epi. I'll tell you what.
For sure.
Live studio audience.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the plot of a special play. What play is it?
August, Osage County.
By who?
Tracy Letts.
I love that guy. He's great. We're going to talk about the play. We're going to talk about themes, characters. We're going to cast the frickin' play.
We do cast the freaking play.
Yeah. And we're going to have a great time doing it. So.
Hope you listen along with us. And cue theme music. Wasn't that a great theme song? We always love guests on our podcast, and we're so thankful that Gabriel he volunteered to be on this podcast.
He drove all the way down
of his own free will. We're not even forcing him to be here
from the Twin Cities.
Oh, you're not? Oh man.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh no. But Gabe, man, it's good to see you. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. I'm very happy to be here.
When was the last time we saw you? Oh, this summer. Sad.
In the summer.
Yeah. True.
And then before that, it had been a long time.
Yeah, for sure. So
been like weddings here and there, kind of scattered around. But other than that, it's been a little bit.
Great. What for the audience, what are your credentials when it comes to theater? What gives you the right to talk?
Why should we trust you?
Yeah, what gives you the right to talk about plays?
Oh my gosh.
Wherever you get your podcasts,
Well, I listened to this little podcast called The PlayWrights.
Oh wow.
I do. I actually do listen to it. I haven't listened to everything, so.
Okay.
I haven't listened to the plays that I've never read. To be fair.
That's fair. That's fair. You it's the richest experience when you've read the play.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get that much out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to college together in undergrad. We went to Benedict. Got my degree in theater arts.
Woo!
And I live in the Twin Cities and kind of been working in education and theater, and now since COVID it's a little dicey, between jobs.
Hence this podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, just been, performing as much as I can and doing some commercials and picking up stuff in little movies and
nice.
Yeah, I was attached to a bunch of stuff before COVID, and then COVID happened, so it's, I'm trying not to be bitter about it, but
it's okay.
What can we do?
Yeah, what can we do, honestly, other than wait it out?
I actually read a lot of plays. Like, I read plays for fun, so.
Oh, good. That's helpful.
Yeah, it's fun to. It was kind of like reading this play again because I read it like at the beginning of quarantine last year. So.
Just a little. You wanted to make yourself feel better, so you started to read Augusto, Osage County.
I read Augusto, Osage County.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah, definitely felt like I was in quarantine. But yeah, no.
It does feel like these people in this play are kind of like trapped in the house. For a good bit of it.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
we sure will. Yeah, there's like a lot of like deeper meaning, even with just like in the title and just like the things that they say in passing.
No, for sure.
But yeah, that's what makes me qualified to.
Okay, great.
I love
credible,
it.
Great.
So take it as you will.
Yeah.
But.
No, Gaby's super dope. Like he said, we met him at Benedict in college, and Gaby and I, when you have that acting partner you're always paired with, well, that was Gabe for me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did a lot of scenes together.
Yeah.
And we realized yesterday that we'd only done one actual play together.
Yeah. But
as actors.
Right. But we didn't, like,
which
in a bunch of classes.
Which was Princess and the Pea.
Once Upon a Mattress.
Once Upon a Mattress. But we worked together a lot. Well, we always worked on every show, but and like sometimes you were like design or like act. So, but yeah.
Though I did act with Will first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you acted with Will before I even did.
Only one time.
Yeah.
We gotta act again together, man.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Right now?
Let's do it.
Oh, and Midsummer. That was a fun time.
That was a fun time. That was good.
Yeah.
Will
that
was so weird.
That was
it was so funny.
It was awesome because I was like, this guy's really freaking weird, but it's so I love it.
And
that was
such a
that was such a goofy show for sure.
Yeah, but
well,
it was
Will
a blast.
he had to jump in last minute.
You did, because that actor, what was an
She,
actress? She broke her leg or
yeah.
broke
Oh
her
my
ankle.
God.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, like the third or fourth day of school, and then I met her later and realized, oh my gosh, that was you. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was supposed to be in that show with you. I was like, oh no way.
Dang.
So
It would have been funny. It would have actually been funny if she had just been like she had just had a broken leg and like that was like her shtick, because she
Right.
would have been one of the what do they call them in Midsummer?
the rude mechanicals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would have been kind of funny that she's just like hobbling around the whole time. I think we could have made it work, but
I think so. Yeah.
But
that
instead,
would be good.
Will had a pink stuffed animal dog that he
Oh my gosh.
made into a character all on its own.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
It was like Dog Sees God.
It was. It was. It had like a
That's-
little squeak. It was like a squeaky toy, and so when you squeezed it, it would go like.
It was great. Yeah.
It's very
It was
funny.
really stupid, but I was all about it.
I love it.
That was great.
All right.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, we're gonna get into Augusto, Osage County, but you want to tell us about good old Tracy before we get into that?
I do. I
Great.
actually, like we talked recently about like David Auburn in our proof episode,
Oh yeah,
where he kind of just like wrote that, and he was kind of like, great.
that was his greatest hit.
Right. Where Tracy is like, I really liked researching him more today because he's kind of the total theater maker. And here's why. Let
Okay.
me introduce you to
Tell
his life.
us.
So I'm a big fan. So he was born on the 4th of July. Quiz. We've covered another playwright born on the 4th of July.
No, we
Who
have.
remembers?
Is it Sam Shepard?
No.
Is it one of the
No.
older ones? Like
Is
O'Neill?
it-
No, I mean, he was like
Arthur Miller?
20s comedy.
Simon.
Yeah.
Neil
Neil
Simon.
Simon?
Yeah. Neil Simon
Oh.
was born on the 4th of July.
Wow.
There's
Poetic.
something about that day.
There's something about that day in playwrights, man.
Dang.
America. So he was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He is the son of
Weird.
an
I wonder
author.
if that's gonna come up later.
Yeah. He is the son of an author. His dad is an author, and then his mom was a college professor and actor. So
Great.
I'm a big fan of that kind of fam. He has two brothers, Sean, who is a musician, and Dana. And that's how it's said, like that's the sentence, and I just think that's funny. His brother Sean, a musician, and Dana.
Who has done nothing.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Wow.
She
sad.
sucks.
It's a boy.
Oh, he
Or,
sucks.
It's a boy. Yikes. Or whatever. So he was raised in Durant, Oklahoma, and graduated from Durant High School in the early 1980s. So Oklahoma boy through and through. He didn't like move a lot. Like that's where he's from. He moved to Dallas.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes.
He moved to.
O-K-L-A-H-O-M-A.
You good?
Oklahoma.
He moved to Dallas, where he waited tables and worked in telemarketing while beginning his acting career. He
you gotta
was
have a day.
doing the grind.
You gotta have a day job.
It made me feel better. But then he moved to Chicago at age 20, and I felt old when I read that, and I was like, hate myself. But he was working
Why?
for the next 11 years at the Steppenwolf Theater Company. And famous story, which we know Steppenwolf, our little Owie does Steppenwolf.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you
He's
mean
done,
he
like,
does it?
Or he's like done camps there like every summer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's
That's
and,
a person that we know.
I
Yeah.
figured.
So.
Yeah. But good for him. Nice.
Yeah.
Owen Angus, sorry, I love him. Okay, so Tracy Letts is actually still a very active member of Steppenwolf.
Very
Oh,
cool.
nice. Okay.
Yeah. Which I do love. Kind of shows how much he loves the craft, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he's been in a lot of stuff, which now
Yeah.
we're going to get into. So, at the Steppenwolf, his first play in 1991, he wrote Killer Joe, which debuted in Evanston, Illinois, and then premiered in New York City. And I was just like, you could really write anywhere and produce it. And if it's good enough, it'll get there.
I wonder if he was at Northwestern? That's in Evanston, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Was he teaching at that point, or was he just like
No.
writing and acting?
Writing and
Okay,
acting. Yeah,
gotcha.
he was working for Steppenwolf at this time.
Oh no, his mom was the
Yeah.
professor. Gotcha.
Mhm.
I got confused for a second.
But then he actually kind of started in playwriting more than acting, as far as like what he was kind of famously known for in the beginning of his career. His plays have depicted people struggling with moral and spiritual questions. He says he's inspired by the plays of Tennessee Williams, which we covered last week with Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Shout out. Yeah. And novelist William Faulkner and Jim Thompson. He states that he considers sound to be effective storytelling tools for theater. So he tries to focus a lot on like how things sound,
the way it sounds.
The way it sounds, like I don't know, like different like sound effects are like really important in like building the mood and scene and yeah. Cool. Well, like you can kind of see that in like this play, how often they like throw stuff and like shaking bottles and crashing of dishes, and it's just like highlighting like climactic moments.
Even the doors. I think of like the doors.
Yeah.
Creaky rusted doors.
The rhythm of the fish scene at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What?
Oh yeah.
Well, when the fish, she's like, eat the fish, eat the fish, eat the fish, eat the fish.
I was like, what? Sorry. I was thinking there's like an ocean.
You know, when they go to the ocean.
I totally missed that.
When they go to the ocean, and then Jesus says, like, throw your net over to the other side of the boat, and there's all the fish.
We're not in Oklahoma anymore.
No, we're not.
That was a dumb joke. I'm sorry.
No, you're perfect.
I think it's funny because it's actually more ironic since we're literally in Kansas.
That's true.
But we're not in Oklahoma anymore. Anyway.
Wow.
His mother said that his work.
If you've ever been, let me know if you're ever in musical Oklahoma, and once the run ends, you should say to the whole cast, "We're not in Oklahoma anymore."
I'm gonna audition for every Oklahoma show just to say that.
Please.
Yeah.
Please. Okay.
I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so his mom says about.
Please feel free.
Okay. His mom says about his work, because she's like the college professor / actor. She's like, I try to be upbeat and funny about his work, because everybody in Tracy's stories either gets naked or dead.
Wow. Dang.
Naked, metaphorically speaking, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
But like we said, Tracy is a total theater maker, or total I don't know. You know, he's an actor, he's a playwright,
creator.
He's a screenwriter, producer. So he, as far as acting, like his highest moment of like success, if you equivalate this, he won the Tony Award for Best Actor for his portrayal of George in the revival of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Wow,
great show.
So shout out. So we're really proud of him for that.
One I've never read. I've hardly read any of Albie.
We should cover him.
You should.
I
know, we need to.
It's as equally jarring as this play, I would say. In a very different way, but
I know. It's similar, family.
Mm-hmm.
Family drawn.
Yeah.
The Augusto Osage County, which we are covering today, it actually premiered at Steppenwolf. And then, it moved on to Broadway. But it won the 2008 Pulitzer Prize for Best Drama, or for drama, I guess. But he's actually been the finalist for the Pulitzer Prize of Drama for 2 other plays, which I was like, very impressive.
Nice.
Man from Nebraska.
That's a play.
Is a play that he wrote, and that was a finalist for the Pulitzer, and so was The Minutes, another one. I've never heard of either of them, but I am curious to read them now.
Yeah,
gonna find him.
Is The Man from Nebraska about you?
It is.
That'd be so meta.
It's my father. Okay?
Randy.
Gotcha.
Randall.
Yes. Even though he was born in Iowa.
Oh.
Don't remind me. All right. He's not proud of it.
We don't
either.
talk about it.
As far as film and television go, he was part of this ensemble stellar cast of The Big Short, which I really liked.
Wait, sorry, what?
He was in The Big Short.
Get out.
Yeah. And I don't know if any of our listeners watch Homeland, but he played Andrew Lockhart in seasons 3 and 4, and he was nominated for 2 Screen Actors Guild Award as a member of this ensemble. So
cool,
very successful. He plays Nick in a pyramid scheme con artist type of show comedy on HBO called Divorce. And he's also starred in The Lovers, Lady Bird, and The Post in 1 year. And those were
Dang.
all nominated for, like, a bunch of awards, especially for, like, I think Best Ensemble.
Wow, he's just.
So he-
I
kicking it.
know. He's sick.
He
And
he picks his projects well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
apparently.
played Henry Ford in Ford versus Ferrari with our
That's- yeah, I think
beautiful
that's the-
Christian Bale.
I think that's the only thing I've seen him in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him in Lady Bird, I think first. He plays her dad. He's
Huh.
like the really nice one.
Sure.
Like,
I
just
don't remember
sweet.
that movie at all.
Oh my gosh.
I
we need
remember
that.
zero things
Okay.
about it.
You're hurting my feelings.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I just we finished it and I was like, what's the big deal about this movie? Anyway.
Okay, now we're just actively hurting
Sorry.
my feelings. So
Sorry, Nick Bonaldo, if you're listening.
God, I hope not.
Do not come through your audio device and punch me in the face.
Yikes.
Okay, so he's also a screenwriter, and he adapted 3 of his plays into screenplays: Bug, Killer Joe, and Augusto, Osage County.
Look at that.
As far as his personal life, he was once engaged to actress Sarah Paulson.
Seriously?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Who's Sarah Paulson?
She's like in everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
She kind of looks like Drew Barrymore. She has a very is that who-
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I've never.
I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the right person.
I don't know. She's like an American Horror Story, I think.
Yeah, she
like,
is.
Yeah.
She's a very distinct look.
Why I've never.
She's been in some.
No, but
animated
she's,
movies.
like,
yeah, that's
in
right.
a bunch.
Yeah. Okay.
She's been in some animated movies.
Oh, Ratchet.
Ratchet.
Okay.
Dad loved that.
She was in
American
Ocean's
Crime
8.
Story.
Bird
yeah.
Box. Oh, 12 Years
Bird Box.
a Slave.
Yeah, she was in Bird Box. That's right. Yeah, her. and
Mrs.
Sandra Bullock have done a
America.
bunch
Desperate.
together.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like.
Yeah,
been
she's got
around
a
the
yeah,
block.
yeah. She looks like a more serious Kristen Wiig, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
That's a good way to look at it.
But
Thank
they're
you.
not they're not engaged anymore. He married actress Carrie Coon. I don't really know anything she's in.
No.
She didn't even look familiar when I looked her up. But they married in September 2013, and they have a son who was born in 2018. Congrats.
Congrats! Wow.
And he's been sober since 1993.
That's awesome.
On purpose?
Can't relate. Yeah. So
great.
that's Tracy Letts.
Okay,
Dang.
great.
Yeah, so he just keeps doing the grind. Like, he keeps making
Yeah.
art, and I like it. I love him. I think
So
he's
this
very
is, I mean, this is
talented.
by far his most successful work, like
Yes.
play for sure.
Yeah.
This had a lot of attention around it, like when it first came out. Like obviously it won the Pulitzer Prize, and I just remember one of my friends was like obsessed with this play. He was just like, have you read August Osage County? And I was like, no, I'm not. I mean, like we were like literally like high school seniors, and he was like, oh my gosh, like it's so good. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I never touched it. Actually, it never really came into my life until just about an hour ago. And I see what all the fuss is about. It's very good.
Yeah, we rented the movie and watched it. I had read the play, I think, I can't remember how many years back. I think senior year at Benedict, and I read it.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever required reading. Like,
No.
They didn't cover it in anything.
But they kept like kind of briefly mentioning it, so I'm like, I probably should.
Yeah.
And then I did, and I was like, there's so much to unpack. I don't know if I can right now in my life. And so then when I was watching it today, I was like, whoa. you know, it just like totally hit different.
Yep.
It's the ultimate like family crisis drama kind of thing.
Just
It's like
dysfunctional family.
dysfunctional family. Like
Yeah.
you name it, they've got it. You know, it's a little Long Day's Journey into Night. It's a little Buried Child.
Yeah.
It's a little what else? I don't know.
Oedipus.
Other ones. Oedipus.
Kinda.
Sure. It's a little. It's
We'll
a
get
little
into
bit.
it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. Could put a dash of Death of a Salesman in there. You know.
I
don't know.
feel like I
Just fine.
experienced this play very differently because I read it and then listened to it on my drive down yesterday and then just watched it with you.
So he's
It's
like he's like gone through it a lot.
Yeah, I've experienced it in every medium.
Yeah.
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 So
And
it's been different every time, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are going to come into this, if you're listening to this podcast, chances are you might have seen the movie because that's probably the most played, like the most popular way people have experienced this play, I would think.
Except if you Google it, you can find it online.
Really?
The play.
Really?
That's what I sent you.
Is it a good? Oh! I meant. Sorry, I thought you meant a recorded version of it from like a stage production.
Oh no, sorry, you'll have to
Well,
read.
there might be. There might be
That would be nice.
I know. Yeah, I'm not very good with bootlegs. I will go on record and say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is really good.
How do we? Yeah. How do we? Even, I like don't know how to even start with it. Like.
Well, let's start
guess
with a
just
little.
set the scene.
Let's try to get our heads around the plot a little bit. Just
Yeah.
give the viewers again. You do get the fullest experience from this podcast if you go out and read the play, watch the movie, whatever, and then come back and those will all make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, because it's somewhat complex because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of characters.
Right.
There are, but it does center around one family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I
we
forget
have
even their last names.
Weston.
The Westons.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
that's funny.
Yeah.
So we have Violet and Beverly. They are the mom and dad, if you will. And they are married.
Yeah, pretty older.
60s. Violet has mouth cancer. The dad, Beverly, is an alcoholic, and they just hired on a Native American housemaid, if you will. Beverly wanted to bring her in to help out because, I don't know, all the cancer, everything's kind of getting crazy.
Yep.
The Violet is addicted to pills. And
A lot of
Not Tic Tacs, okay.
Not Tic Tacs.
No.
What
No,
was
no, no.
so crazy, I think this like hit me so much because like my own mom, when she had cancer or whatever, and she had to take, he was listing off the pills
Yeah.
that she was taking in the beginning, and I literally recognized like every single name
Oh wow.
of them because like my mom had to take all of those.
Dang.
And
Yep.
I was like, oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
she, my mother was not addicted, but I see how one like you're taking them so much. It makes you feel better. Like all of it. I don't know. I understood Violet's journey more, I think, because of my own experience with, or just watching someone I love go through that, you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, so Beverly kind of runs off, but I guess he has a habit of doing this over the years because he's an alcoholic and they just kind of say it's happened before.
Yeah, it kind of just disappears.
Yeah. So Violet has 3 daughters, Ivy, Barbara, and Karen.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Ivy lives in town. Barbara does not, and Karen is a wild card of
Lives in Florida.
she come in. Yeah,
She lives
never
in
comes
Florida.
around.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
Okay?
basically.
Yeah.
They're like, we haven't seen you in years.
Classic.
But since the dad ran away, they're like, call Barbara. We need her here. All this stuff. Everyone kind of comes in because of that reason.
Yeah, all the sisters
Yeah.
kind of come back and
And their families or
Yeah, and
respective
they're-
partners.
right.
Yeah.
And along with Violet's sister,
yeah.
Maddie Faye.
Mhm.
and her husband Charles,
And
Yes.
the son, Little Charles.
Uncle Charles, Uncle
Yes.
Charles and Little Charles.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, it turns out after a brief, Beverly is missing, and then the police come and they've found his body. He has killed himself. Rest in peace.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think he took out the boat, which he has like the little boat, and I guess he has like a history of going out and sitting there and like reading and drinking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
They even like allude to it later, like, oh, he's probably just doing that again.
Yeah.
And then when the sheriff comes and he's like, no, we found his body and
Yeah.
he drowned.
Okay, so I guess my first question is, are we sure that Bev killed himself, or was it an accident and he was just drunk?
Well, yeah, it's never really explicitly said because
Yeah.
Barbara's husband asks the sheriff kind of like one-on-one, like, can you tell what happened? And he says it's hard to tell, but he's like, from my experience, it looks like suicide. Like he drowned himself.
I think
How do you drown yourself? Like, that's like so hard to do, just like physically, right?
Yeah,
Unless you're
well,
like tying cement
it's
to
funny,
your shoes.
It's funny that you say that though, because that like Bill kind of asks that. Like he asks, like, it's a really sad line. He basically asks, like, how can you choose not to swim?
Yeah.
Right.
Like you're making a choice to just not come back up. Like
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. But yeah, I think it would be kind of hard. But it's
It
never
is.
really-
It's a unless you're passed out in the water, then
Which
then
like
you'll drown.
it could have been a mix he's a very smart guy, but he's also a drunk, if you will. So
Well,
it
yeah,
could have
he-
been
Yeah,
like
I mean, yeah, for sure. I think
was
he was
probably
probably
got
intoxicated.
shit-faced and
Yep.
Yeah.
just laid there and let it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I
Whereas-
think that's a really like. I mean, when characters kill themselves, looking at the way that they kill themselves is indicative of like this. There's symbolism behind that. Like he felt like he was drowning in something, right? Metaphorically in his life. So
Yeah.
Well, I think he definitely, she was smothering him so
Yeah.
much and like drowning kind of in all that he had to like deal with her. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
couldn't get a
well,
handle
that's how.
on
Yeah,
it.
that's how the whole play.
The
opens.
wife,
He's
yeah.
just talking about. He's like, I drink and my wife takes pills, and that's just the way it is. She takes pills because I drink, and I drink because she takes pills. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just like talks for a while just about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because what's the opening line? It's like,
It's a T.S. Eliot
yeah,
quote.
life is very long. It's
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
whoa.
yeah. So he kind of lays it out there for you. The theme of the play is like
Yeah.
all these characters are kind of just doing what they can to just find some kind of meaning in life.
Solace.
And a lot of them
yeah.
turn to, bad things like substance abuse or whatever.
Yeah, they all
Or
kind of have
let-
something.
Or it's like settling
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
for like people treating them terribly
Yeah. Yeah.
and just being like,
There's a
well,
lot
this
of
is what
that.
I grew up, I saw this kind of love between my mom and dad,
Yeah.
so like why
Yeah.
would I deserve anything better?
We accept the love we think we deserve. Perks of being a wallflower.
It's not Perks of Being a Wallflower.
It's not.
I think it's
That's-
10%.
That's
I think
Fault
it's,
in Our no.
No,
Oh
it's
no,
Perks
that
of-
is Perks. Sorry. I was thinking of something else. I
Please,
apologize.
please. I know my young adult literature. Okay.
Help.
So, anyways,
Emma
they go.
Watson ruined that movie.
They go to the. They like go to the funeral. Well, we don't see the funeral, but they come back from the funeral,
Mhm.
and they have this just like very heated argument over like the funeral luncheon, and
Yeah.
basically just like everything unravels, and like everybody's at each other's throats.
I like
And-
that funeral dinner really got me. So there's this one moment where the mom is like, she yells at the men because they're not wearing jackets because it's August, it's hot, aka heat is another motif. Welcome
Yes.
to the world of plays.
stifling.
So
Yeah, it's like hot in every play.
yeah,
Like you've never.
it's hot or raining.
It's hot or it's raining.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It is,
No one ever
yeah.
says in a play like, "It's really comfortable weather out today, isn't it?"
No,
It's a perfect
It's
day.
extreme.
Man, it's
No,
a top
there's-
10 day outside.
it's bad. So the men are like not wearing their jackets after the funeral because it's hot, and they're just like, whatever. We're now just around family. We don't have anything to prove, when you have to put on a show all day, like at the funeral. And then Violet comes in and she like scolds them and tells them
Yeah.
to like put on their jackets. I thought we were having a funeral dinner, and it was just so like not that I want to be like I've had a parent figure in my own family, like where it's those moments of grief where it's like the smallest thing, like putting on a suit jacket, like matters, and it's
Yeah.
offensive if someone's not doing it.
Yeah.
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 Because you're so upset, and that's you like let it out in certain like ways.
Take it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of just like small decisions that are just whatever. I'm hot. That's why I took off my jacket. So I thought Tracy did such like a beautiful job in expressing that kind of grief where no one's like sobbing because the dad died, but you see them like all in pain about it and in like such like specific ways like that. And I was
Well,
like,
and
yeah.
even the fact that they all come back together. Like all my siblings, we all live in different places, and even when we like all come back together, like after a few days, you get on each other's nerves, and like the stuff that you're like, oh my gosh, you did that as a kid, and you're doing
Oh.
it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like getting more like in this. It's evident in this play. Like they get on each other's nerves even more, and then
Yeah.
like the grief just kind of amplifies it.
Right.
And
Right.
it's hot. It's like
And it's hot.
90 degrees outside Oklahoma in August. Probably super
They're eating.
humid.
They're eating a bunch of different casseroles. I think at the dinner.
Yeah,
they
which
keep
is,
talking.
like,
It's like, why are you
winter
eating
comfort food,
casseroles,
yeah.
man? Holy cow!
Ugh, gross. But at the dinner, I kind of lost it because they were like Violet's being like so mean. She took
Mhm.
like how many? I think 4 pills before dinner because she was like, one for me, one for my daughters, one for
Yeah.
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 So the thing with Violet is that she is very, very mean, and when she takes pills, she becomes even meaner. And like that's like her whole shtick is that she
Yeah.
just gets at your throat with the thing that you're like really sensitive about or whatever. She just knows how to like really push people's buttons.
Yeah.
And especially for Barbara, who's kind of our protagonist, I guess you would say. She's like the the oldest?
Yeah, she's the oldest daughter.
Yeah.
Oldest daughter.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And you're kind of I was rooting for her. I was like, I want Barbara to have something better because her life kind of sucks.
You saw the weight on her shoulders.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess kind of, well, not really backtracking, but it all kind of unravels at the same time. So you basically find out like Barbara comes with her husband and her daughter, and you find out that like her and her husband are having like marital problems.
Mm-hmm.
They're separated, and then the middle daughter Ivy like lives in town, and like her mom's always like after. There's a scene where she's like after her. She's like, if you like put on makeup, you'll be like prettier, and you'll like get yourself a man. That's where you first start seeing like Violet's like so mean.
Right.
Right.
And then the youngest daughter comes with like her fiance and is all like,
and she's like, I'm hot. This is my like new fiance.
Yeah.
We're gonna go have a honeymoon in Belize, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, shut up.
Yeah. Her fiance's been married 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
yeah. So yeah, it, like pretty much like everything kind of gets revealed to everybody else
At
in
dinner.
the story at dinner. Like
Yeah.
even though we as the audience know it already.
Right. Even
Um,
subtle things.
yeah.
So like
Yeah.
little Charles, who is Maddie, Violet's sister, and Charles's child. Him and Ivy are having a relationship. So
They're
little cousin
kissing cousins, so to
kissing
speak.
cousin action.
Actually, literally, not so to speak.
Yeah, literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Now does sorry.
so
go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say that during dinner, it was such a good like playwriting thing where he's about to tell everyone because he's like so happy and he does love Ivy, and Ivy's like, please no, and luckily everyone like never lets anyone else speak, and so then little Charles is like, never mind, I forgot to do this thing, so I'm
Right.
not gonna confess that, but then everyone realizes what he was about to confess anyways. You know?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, he
yeah,
just
that's true.
confesses like I overslept and didn't make it to the
Mhm.
funeral, and he does feel really bad about it.
Yeah.
Like actually, I think that's like one of my favorite scenes. Is
Yeah.
him and Uncle Charles talking, and it's like a very short, simple scene, and he basically like is telling his dad, he's like, I'm like sorry, I feel so bad, I loved my uncle, and his dad like gives him like a comb. He's like, just like comb your hair, like
Mhm.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Um,
The relationship of Charles and little Charles is probably the
The best
best,
relationship,
like the most
yeah.
pure, I guess. Like
Yeah.
it's like very
Yeah,
beautiful.
and they like tell each other they love. Like that's how the scene ends with like them saying they love each other. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Does
nice juxtaposition.
little Charles have like some kind of like is he kind of like different a little bit? Is that ever like explicitly said, or is he just kind of nervous
No,
and
I think
kind
he
of
was just emotionally abused by his mother.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, he's
So I
definitely
think-
more. I kind of see him as like boyish.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I mean he's a grown man.
he's a grown
but
man. He's like but he's like kind of probably emotionally stunted. and
Right.
yeah.
But if you're chastised like enough, you know,
Oh,
Right.
like
Yeah.
It's
constantly.
traumatic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just like kind of a nervous wreck.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah,
like,
which makes it so interesting. It's like, why is Ivy attracted to this guy?
But like
Yeah.
Ivy loves the underdog.
Oh,
Yeah.
she does.
Violet said
But
that.
yeah, well,
you know?
yeah. So Violet's mean, but you also learn her sister is super mean as well,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like abusive to little Charles.
Yeah.
And then, it's a very small moment, but he spills something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she gets like so ticked.
She's screaming.
She like
at
screams
him.
at him, and she's like,
It had a little bit of Al energy, I will say.
Sure.
But no, I mean, but she would never be as mean as Maddie was. And then my favorite line after that is he spills it, and they're like, "Would you calm down? No one's hurt. It's fine." And she's like, "I'm hurt." And you're like,
Oh,
"What?"
I think she.
It's her casserole.
I think he spilled
Yeah,
like her
yeah.
food, yeah, and so she's really upset about it.
And he's like, "Oh."
Well, because there's like a small thing where she's competing against like the maid
Mhm.
for.
Mm.
She's like saying like my casserole's better.
Yeah.
And everybody's like loves the maid's food.
Right.
And it's kind of like a funny family thing. Like
Okay.
moms do that, I think.
Oh
They're
my
like,
Yeah,
gosh.
definitely.
For sure.
Like, did you eat that like when you went to
I
that
even
party?
do that.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, you didn't like mine?
A better one of these.
Why aren't you
Yeah.
eating that? Will just knows to like always eat any food I bring, or else I'll be a nightmare the rest of the night, I think.
Yeah.
No, like if I like
It
brought,
helps that your food is good. So.
well, sure, but if I bring an
That's good.
app, you know, Gotta eat that app.
Oh, sure.
Gotta do it.
You can't eat other apps.
That is true. You have to like show your support.
Yeah, because even if we're the only two eating it.
That is.
Normally
I have done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyways. I just love. I will also say I love in this play they all scream at each other so much, and I'm obsessed with it.
I just realized it's interesting how we, like meals. I think are a very, like communal, familial thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like families like love eating together, and you hear like, oh, we haven't like sat down and had dinner together in a long time, which is kind of what's happening, but it's like a reversal.
Yeah.
And it's like, instead of this being this peaceful thing, like celebrating a life, it just becomes a shouting fest.
Yeah.
Right.
And everybody's mostly Violet accusing other people, and then everybody gets provoked and basically
Right.
And Barbara ends up kind of exploding on her.
And literally attacks her.
Literally attacks her, gets the pills out of her hands. Like, I know you've been on the pills again and stuff, and then it ends with literally like she like jumps on her.
Yeah.
Takes the pills out of her hands.
It's such a primal moment, and then she
just a burst. Yeah, she's bursts.
Growls at her like, I'm in charge now, and then you
Yeah.
see like Violet like whimpering like a hurt puppy, like on I don't know, or at least Meryl Streep did it like that, and I thought that was beautiful. But so then you see this like dynamic power shift for a little bit.
Yeah.
Where Violet's fine, like, okay, fine, you can have the power, Barbara. You can tell everyone what to do because
I guess you're ready to do it.
Yeah.
Like
they flush all the pills.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Classic
Violet's
pill
like,
raid.
I'm gonna get better, and they're like, maybe you should go to rehab, and she's like, nah, I don't need that. And you're like, well,
yeah.
maybe. And then we find out that little Charles, no. Barbara has a child named Jean. And Stevie, which is hot
Karen's fiance.
Karen from Florida, her fiance, who's really gross. And he is kind of flirting with this 14-year-old all weekend. He's 50, she's 14.
Yeah.
And then one night it comes to a head where they're getting high together, and Stevie's trying to feel Jean up or like, show me your boobs, all this stuff. And then Jonna, my queen, comes out with a shovel and starts like attacking him.
That's the maid.
That's the maid.
Yeah. She's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was so powerful. And so she starts attacking him, and then everyone's like, "What? What is happening? What?" And then Jean gets pissed and like hates her mother now. And then Stevie and Karen are like, "We're leaving." And Karen has this like amazing monologue where she's like, "You don't get to judge me. Like, your life isn't perfect.
I don't need a speech from you.
Yeah, I don't need a speech from you. Don't talk to me. Your daughter's not innocent." You know, like all this kind of like very self-protective type of like language, if you will, about the situation. And then it ends with this line. She's like, "And in January, we're going to be in Belize. And isn't that nice?" And her heart is like so broken in that line, you know, because that's like what she said earlier. She was so excited, and then you hear like the heartbreak of like, no, my fiance is like a really shitty dude, and I'm just gonna live with it.
Yeah, and she kind of realized. Well, she's obviously realized it. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah. So that was sad.
Yeah.
That was one drum, and then they leave, and then another drum.
Well, I did think like from the way you guys were talking about it, I thought that scene was gonna be way worse. I thought it was gonna be like it had been like a long affair between like two, like an old man and a young woman or anything like that. But nothing like that ever happened. So I was like, so when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, well that's not as bad as it could have been. I guess.
Yeah, he kind of just
which
like
is not good, but
he just kind of creepily flirts with her.
Throughout
a few
the
scenes.
days,
and I just like when I looked at the script again today, it mentions he like when he tells her like, oh, I'll hook you up later with this like this great like
pot
great pot that I have.
Yeah,
he like rubs her face.
Yeah,
I hadn't caught that before. It says he rubs her entire face, and I'm like, oh, nasty.
Yeah,
like so.
So it's
nasty
like
vibes.
I think they toned it down because we'll just watch the movie, but in the play it's a little worse. And also, she's 14. She's I don't know.
Yeah. No, I was just surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's there's so Karen leaves with Steve like that night. They just leave like right away.
Yeah.
And then
it's kind of cool how people get heartbroken, they leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
They come to get hurt, and then they.
Barbara and Bill have like a really, they don't really show it as much in the movie, which I was kind of confused about, but they have this like really, this very heartbreaking scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Barbara ends up like, she like tells him a bunch of times that she loves him and is like, I want you to like come back to me, but that's not gonna happen, is it?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's so like,
I know they only like kind of slightly alluded to it because she's like, "You're never coming back." He's like, "Never say never," and she's like, "That's a no." You know?
And so they've been having problems because he's been having an affair with one of his students.
I didn't realize it was his student.
So
I forgot.
That's why his daughter, when they're like asking her right after that like incident happened, he's like, "You're 14," and she's like, "That's only a little younger than you like him, Dad." Which is like so. It was so like.
That's a good one.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I think he's a college professor, so
yeah.
Yeah, it's so like.
Yeah, and they leave together the next morning because Jean's like, absolutely hate this. She got slapped by her mom. Bill is pissed because the mom slapped her.
Well, because of everything.
Yeah, because of everything.
Yeah.
It's all insane. He's like, no, I need to get her out of this toxic
He's like
energy.
somewhat a voice of reason.
Yeah.
Like
I like him.
Good head on his shoulders, and like he's constantly like trying to call people out and like, Violet, like, why are you talking like that? And he like tells Barbara like, why are you like letting your mom like talk to you this way? And yeah, he's kind of, even with his own flaws, he's more of a reasonable voice than the others.
Yeah, I really liked him a lot.
Yeah. Except for him sleeping with his student. That's not good.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you meant Charlie. I like Charlie a lot.
Little Charles?
No, Big Charles.
Big Charles.
I like both Charles.
I like Charles. Yeah, I like Big Charles too.
I wanted more
Charles,
of him.
So Little Charles is actually their brother.
Yes.
Ivy
Barbara
and Barbara.
Barbara
and
talks to Aunt
Karen's
Maddie Faye.
Their half brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, talks to Aunt Maddie Faye, and she's like, "Is there something happening between my son and Ivy?" And she's like, "Well, I don't really want to say." And she's like, "Just tell me." And she's like, "Yeah, there is." And then Aunt Maddie Faye's like, "They're actually siblings. So he's your sibling. He's your brother too." And then she like tells Barbara like, "Oh, like your father and I, Beverly, like had a little thing."
Yeah.
Was it a little thing or was it a big thing?
I think it's a big thing.
I think it's kind of a big
thing. Like it went on for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she was like, "Did my dad know?" And she's like, "Yeah." And it's never really like, she doesn't really say if her sister, if Violet knows. I think Violet says later that she knew.
She knew, but
but she never told
Maddie or
Bev or Maddie that they knew.
Yeah, it's all just like everything happens. I think it's very well written out, like in terms of the spacing of it, but it's like chaos. Like every scene is just like, whoa. You're like, oh, this couldn't get any worse. I was wrong.
It did.
Wrong again.
It did. I don't know. Let me know if you guys felt this too. I didn't feel like, I liked the choice that like, yes, there's this hidden affair between Maddie Faye and Bev, but I felt like Maddie Faye just told Barbara about the affair just to tell her, just to like enlighten the audience. Be like, yeah, you know what, there's this is not what you think it is. It's just more drama. And so I didn't feel like it was like it I feel like it could have come out in a different way. It was just such a quiet conversation that they were having.
Possibly.
I don't agree because
Why?
think she wouldn't have told her if Ivy and Little Charles weren't like together. It was
Correct.
a means to stop it. And she didn't want to do it herself. And so she was using Barbara, who everyone has like kind of turned to in this world of like, fix this issue, fix this. It's on you.
Okay.
You know, it's another like layer that Barbara is like put on her shoulders. And so I think it's partly, I think she's also just trying to get at her son because she's been so abusive of him. And then she says like, I don't know why I've been so ashamed of him. And like, yeah, maybe it's like a slight remorse for what she's done. Yeah, because
it absolutely is.
Because Big Charles had just got done like yelling at Maddie. He's like, "We've been
lines.
married for 38 years, but if you're not nicer, then like we're not gonna make it to 39."
Yeah,
and I was like,
that was such a good line.
So yeah,
and it's just so ironic that Big Charles and Little Charles have the best relationship, and yet they're not related at all,
Yeah.
and that they shouldn't really even.
I didn't even. Yeah. I
And
didn't even
have
think of
the
that.
same name
They have the same name,
Yeah.
and not.
Well, and that's
and there's
even
really
that's
no
such
connection
a-
between them.
That's such a demeaning thing to be called Little Charles as a
Mhm.
grown man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and Ivy keeps saying it too.
She's like,
Like,
Charles.
you've got to,
Charles. It's
yeah,
called Charles.
you've got to distinguish them.
Yeah.
His name is Charles.
And even though everyone calls not Big Charlie, they don't
They
call
don't
him
call
Big
him Big
Charles. They
Charles.
call him Charlie.
Or Uncle Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Charlie.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like, why even?
Oh.
Well, that reminds me. Doesn't Tennessee Williams do that a lot? Like Big something.
Yeah.
Little something.
Yeah.
Big Daddy.
Big
Daddy.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
Big Mama. Yeah, exactly.
That
We
kinda got
see
those
the
vibes.
influence.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then Violet uses that information that she knew as Ivy's trying to tell her, hey, I'm leaving with little Charles tomorrow for New York. Violet's like, before she can even say that, Violet's like, oh yeah, that your brother and sister? And Ivy's like, what? And then it's this
Yeah.
thing, and one of my favorite lines is, you both are monsters. And then she just leaves.
She
Ivy
just
leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a-
Sad.
I really don't see how Barbara is that bad of a person. Is she that bad of a person? Are we supposed to be rooting for Barbara in this? Like, she calls her a monster, and I'm just like, yeah, but she's right, and she's
I think she's just really upset because
like, I just like,
Barbara kept it from. Well, she doesn't know that Barbara kept it from her, and then she like tells Ivy like, no, like Aunt Mattie Faye like told me like don't blame Mom, like you can blame me for it because I was like trying to protect
Yeah.
you. I think it's more of like she sees her as a monster because I think she's like turning into their mom
I got like some
Well,
of those vibes, but like,
in the fish scene
I think
specifically.
yeah,
You know.
I think we need to like put ourselves in like Ivy's shoes, where obviously Barbara's the oldest. She's mom and dad's favorite. They all turn to her.
Yeah,
Like, and this
yeah.
is what Ivy's had to deal with like her whole life, even though she's the one who stayed and took
kind of
care
a
of
middle
her
child
parents.
syndrome.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like she took care of them and took on that responsibility, and yet Barbara always wins.
Barbara's
she
the
comes
golden
into
child.
town and she
Mhm.
saves the day, and Ivy's like, I've been here.
Well, yeah, the sisters
know?
have that conversation, and
Right.
they're all kind of blaming each other, and she's like, I stayed and you guys all left, so I don't feel any guilt just leaving town.
It's-
I gotta
it's
leave
your
town
turn.
tomorrow.
yeah, it's your turn to take
Yeah.
care of them.
Yeah. So
Kinda
I
guilt-tripping
kind
each
of
other.
get where Ivy's coming from, because Barbara just like, takes charge and acts like she earned it, and like also she can have kind of a bite on her. I mean,
Yeah,
the way
definitely.
she talks to like Bill, her husband,
Yeah.
and like the way even talking to her own child, where she's kind of like very I mean, very authentic with her daughter, but also her daughter's only 14, so you're like, so you
Sure.
kind of see a similar vein where Violet is in her a little bit.
Well, it's like the passing down of the kind of abusive mother.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then in that scene where Violet's yelling at everybody, she's like saying like, "Oh, you girls have never experienced a hard life," and like Mattie Faye like saved me from like an abusive man who was like attacking me with a claw hammer,
Yeah.
and like she has dents in her skull because of it, and you're like, "Whoa!" And then she's like, "Don't tell me that you girls have lived a hard life. Like, you
Yeah.
have no idea what that is. You went to college. We like gave you an education,
Right.
And so she's basically like guilt tripping them, and that's what makes Barbara like snap.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's
She's
like
"Give me the
another
pills."
interesting thing to reflect on. And I kind of see this like in families where, our like grandparents, whatever, how they raised their
Yeah.
mistakes, their influences,
They're
you
passed
see that
down.
in your parents, and then they try to do the best they can, but then also there's like pieces of like yourself from them,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
it gets like a little bit duller as far as like what you go through. Like obviously I think Violet went through like way worse of a childhood,
Yeah.
but they still went through a bad childhood because
Right.
of what Violet went through.
Right.
And then their children have a little bit lesser version of that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's kind of an interesting kind of line to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then, I guess the last scene is basically Violet telling Barbara that she like mentions a motel, and Barbara's like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I called this motel and found out that like Beverly was like there." And there's a whole thing with like taking out like a safety deposit box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did not understand that.
I think she basically they basically had this arrangement where if like either of them got in trouble, they would like take out the safety deposit box.
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of I was a little bit confused, but I think it was alluded that she basically like found a note, and she doesn't tell Barbara if he said he was gonna kill himself, but Barbara kind of figures out like, yeah, he said it.
Yeah, the suicide
and so she,
note.
for completely selfish reasons, went and took out the safety deposit box.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like, you could have prevented him from killing himself.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, I guess I could have.
So wait, with the safety deposit box, Bev and Violet have an agreement that when one is in trouble, the person who's in trouble gets the safety deposit box, or the person who's not in trouble.
The other person.
But why?
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of said like, kind of like if anything like happens to us.
Yeah, like an emergency.
Kind of
Is it
like,
almost like a life insurance policy?
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
I could see them like not trusting the government and being like, "We're gonna have our own."
We've got something. And it's literally just full of cash.
Yeah. I could see that being.
And I wonder if it's so. Beverly is like an award-winning poet. I wonder if he like won money as like a prize.
Yeah,
because they are like pretty wealthy.
I know their house is huge.
Yeah.
And there's not really like that's one thing that is not really brought up. Like nobody's really suffering from lack of money.
No. They all have good jobs.
Yeah.
Or significant others with good jobs.
Or like little Charles doesn't work, but he seems fine and paid for. You know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I think, at that moment, Barbara realizes. Because she's kind of been, like, empathizing with her mom after she attacked her that night at the funeral dinner. She's feeling bad. She's seeing a change in her mom. She's like, wow, maybe, she's going to be okay. I feel like that's where her mind is at. And she's slowly turning into her mother a little bit because everything's going whacked out.
Yeah.
And then she hears from her mom that she didn't stop her own father from killing himself.
Yeah.
And she was just like, absolutely, no, I'm done.
And
I
then
quit.
she leaves.
Yeah, and then she leaves. And Violet's left all alone
Kind of left
in
to her own demise.
in her big house with Jonah. Poor
Jonah
girl.
Ends up just dancing to an Eric Clapton song.
Yeah, which I wanted to talk about. So Jonah's Native American, and she is in this house with a bunch of white people, like going apeshit crazy, and then you have Jonah. So like, what do we think that represents? Like, what was Tracy like trying to say or trying to do you think? Because it's like, obviously she's not Native American by accident,
Right. Why include that in there?
Right.
I mean, it's set in Oklahoma, and I think there's a very huge like Native American population in Oklahoma.
There is.
I don't know. In many ways, I think it might just be like a kind of like the outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
Of like, she's not in the family, but she's like working for the family. At least at that level, it's that kind of idea. I don't really. Yeah, I'd have to think more about that. I don't know. Like,
I think it could be something like there's a juxtaposition where a lot of people might associate Native Americans with like the derogatory term could be like savages, and who's acting like savages in this? Well, it's the white people.
Yeah, I kind of thought where it's like, that reversal of like, because Violet is like super racist about Jonah, like basically the whole play, and says like so many derogatory terms towards her. So you see how she views like the Native Americans. But if we think about like history, it's like, the Native Americans were like on that land first. The white people came in, took it, oppressed them, and then it's been like whacked out ever since. Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of just showing
in many ways showing an oppression again. It's a very oppressive household.
Yeah. And
and everybody's oppressed and the oppressor. Like everybody's got their own shit that they're dealing with. And is really biting with everybody else.
Yeah. And at the end we still see Jonah taking care of Violet and being empathetic and kind, even though like Violet's been so cruel to like her the entire time. And so like that's like an interesting, I don't know, factor to take place too. That's like,
well, and there's
she does like genuinely care about the family, and she like protects the young daughter, so.
Well, yeah, and they did take that scene in the movie where Jean, the teenage girl, is like talking to her, and she like kind of goes into her room and she's like, I want to like smoke pot in here. I don't want to like smoke somewhere else. She's like, don't get me in trouble. She's like, oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
And then they just like have a very like sweet conversation, and she like asks her about her necklace. Like, she tells her like, oh, I'm Cheyenne, and I have like this necklace. Like, she's like, it has my umbilical corded, and Jean's all like, oh, it's so gross.
Ew.
And she's like, why do you like keep it? And she's like, so he's like, if we lose it, we like lose our soul. And I'm like, it's very like Native American like spirituality is very fascinating.
Yeah.
In that way. Because I don't think we really have anything like that.
That's kind of interesting because it's like the umbilical cord, like that connects us to our mother, right?
Yeah.
So you lose that, you
Ooh.
lose your soul, you lose yourself. They lose
It's
that relationship with their mother.
It's a life-giving...
Cutting the bond.
Yeah. Yeah, where like his violet is like the opposite of life-giving, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's taking life away in many ways. Yeah.
I love that. Good job, Tracy.
I brought you into this world and I'll take you out.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's a little bit of a spiritual undertone because there's when Barbara and Bill, like we first see them, they're talking about like the plains, and she's like, it's like a spiritual condition of like sadness.
Yeah.
And she just kind of jokes like, oh, what are you suffering from? I have the plains.
Yeah.
And they're coming from Colorado, so I'm sure they're just like, oh, Oklahoma's like so depressing.
Right.
You know?
So sad.
Yeah,
I love when she's like,
Boulder.
this isn't the Midwest. This is the plains, please.
Yeah. I since I'm from Michigan, I thought it was funny when she's like, Michigan's the Midwest, and it's the Midwest for a reason. And I was like, I'm like insulted by that.
Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah.
Coming from Kansas.
Yeah. Oh,
you have no idea.
It's funny.
We love flyover country here.
Yeah, a lot to so much. Like, this is not exactly an enjoyable read.
No.
You know?
It's like very it was a very cathartic experience for me personally. I was like I feel like I say a lot like, oh, they speak so naturally, but it was almost like Tracy wrote their actions so naturally, or you saw like where like their pain, their hurt, the
subconscious.
Yeah. Subtext was
Submarine?
like the subtext was so clear where you didn't hate anyone even though they're saying like such terrible things to each other. And it's just like, yeah, that's family, and that's family in pain sometimes. It's like that. You know, people either like turn away or they like get aggressive or, you know, like they regret, you know. I don't know. So I just, especially in a time of like grief, I was like, yeah, he wrote it so well. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we watched the movie, I said like, I'm curious to see how he doesn't make it feel crowded, like with all these characters, and I think he did a really good job.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel like confusing. Like
No.
everybody had enough of a like story and hurt that you were like, okay, you can empathize or like not accuse but like hate characters, and then realize like everybody's in pain, everybody's like causing pain to other people, and everybody's just like fighting with each other. I thought he did a good job with that.
Yeah.
So who do you think the protagonist is? I hope that wasn't one of your questions, was it?
No,
Okay.
I mean, no, it wasn't. I think it's I mean, like, I was rooting for Barbara. I wasn't rooting for anyone else.
I think it's Violet is the protagonist in the play and Barbara's the protagonist in the film, because actually the play ends with just Violet on the stairs alone. You never know what happens to like Barbara leaves and that's it.
Okay.
And so the final stage picture is Violet.
Just like listening sadly to the song. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think in the film I was kind of reading up where they did like screen test of the movie, and all the audiences were like so upset because they're like, well, what happens to Barbara? So they kind of had set it up, or you kind of people were worried, and they didn't like the movie as much because of it, and so then they added that extra driving scene. Even though that
makes so much more sense though, because I turned to you and I was like, this seems kind of pointless.
It doesn't add much.
Yeah.
Other than Okay, so Barbara
Closure?
didn't crash like 5 miles down the road. I guess she's
Right.
still alive.
Well, it's kind
That's
of like
good.
feels cheesy in a way to me.
It did.
Or it lessens the like what you feel better about your life. Like you got out of that toxic.
Yeah.
Like why are you smiling?
It's got like a
and
little
looking
bit
at
of
the
like
planes? Like what?
it's got like a little bit of a Hallmark movie ending.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. So
People are less satisfied with the dark ending, I think.
yeah, I don't
Speak
get
for
it. Just kidding.
yourself. Speak for yourself.
No, I
people.
love that. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, that's just because
We're
I'm
sad.
in theater, but
We're sad people.
we're
Just
just
kidding.
sad performers.
We like it.
I
so,
wanted
yeah.
I wanted
So
Barbara
interesting.
to kill Violet at the end.
Interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That
would have been
like
too
the
much.
heightened.
That would have been probably too much, but
Yeah.
or like
Probably wanted to.
or like you know what would have been cool if like okay, Violet has like a hidden stash of pills, okay, and she's taking some pills, and then she starts choking on one, and then Barbara sees her choking on it,
And
and
just lets it happen.
she just lets it happen.
Poetic justice.
Too much?
I guess.
I don't know.
That would have been so much.
That would've been
I
a
already
lot.
feel like I just like identified with Barbara so much. You could just see like having to deal with like one dead parent, like that. I don't think she would have let that happen. So it's just like that's just another. My other parent died. Like how do I?
Oh sure. I mean,
kinda-
yeah, it's
I
just
kind of feel like
just
maybe
an idea.
I kind of feel like maybe it was more cruel to just leave and be like, I'm just gonna kind of let you rot alone by yourself.
Yeah, it was really sad, the dancing scene, and you just see, she takes off her Meryl
Wig.
Streep takes off her wig, and like
Yeah.
her hair is like so like ratchety and kind of it's all falling out, and it's all short and gray, and you just do get that idea of like how lonely some people are towards the end of their life, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like Violet has that much longer left to live because of the cancer and because of just the way
already,
she's
like,
living.
in her mid-60s.
I mean, she's not long for this world, it doesn't seem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She smokes a lot. And
She
yeah,
smokes
it's
a
just
ton.
like
Yeah, and I love the way that Barbara left. I thought it was like really powerful where Violet is giving this whole monologue of how like she's so spiteful towards Beverly for leaving her, for killing himself. Like she's the stronger one. Like F him, I'm the strong one. And then like Barbara leans down and like hugs Violet, and she's like, "You're right, Mom. You're the strong one." And then Violet like falls for it because that's like what she's wanted to hear. She just wants to hear that affirmation, everything she says about herself to be true, to hear it from someone else. So Barbara gives her that, and then like takes away the real thing she wants is like companionship with
Right.
Barbara.
and just
Right.
leaves.
Yeah.
And in the movie, the hug between Barbara and Violet is like so brief. It's not like a nice like long squeeze. It's like
It's like an aggressive like
it's like a
Not
you
going
can't
to
see
that.
what I'm
Yeah.
doing, but if you could just imagine what I just did there.
It's an awkward hug.
Yeah, Julia Roberts. She blew me away in this.
Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah, I really love her.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
I'm just like still processing it.
I
It's
know,
still, like,
I know.
Whoa.
There's so much to unpack, and it's just like, yeah.
I have a question. This is an edgy question. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So in a part of the thing that Ivy reveals, I really love the conversation that the three sisters have. They all are like talking one night, and it's just those three. I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes probably. And Ivy reveals that a year ago she had cervical cancer, right?
Yeah.
And she had hysterectomy and stuff, so she can never have kids. My edgy question is, if you can't have kids, then is it so wrong to be in love with your cousin?
Well, it's not her cousin, it's her brother.
It's not her cousin, it's her brother, but she doesn't know that.
I was.
Yes.
Because that's how she justifies. Yeah, I know. I mean, it is.
That's true.
But that's how she
Yeah.
justifies it. It's like, well, we can't have kids, so our kids aren't going to be messed up genetically. So, like, what's the harm? And I think that's a question that we come back to a lot in this play. It's like, well, what is my relationship with my cousin doing to you? How is it hurting you?
Yeah,
I think
why are you
several
so
characters ask that, right?
out to
It's like,
destroy it?
why when little Charles drops the casserole on the floor, it's like, well, it's like how, like, and Matty Faye blows up at him. Everybody asks, like, how is this hurting you? Why are you getting so mad at this? You know, and I think that question comes up quite a few times in the
I
show.
feel like that's kind of a relevant question though now.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of ask.
How
that,
is
like,
how are my moral choices hurting
yeah, how's
you?
it hurting you? Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how is my choice?
That's like a
to-
big like life lesson kind of.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm like the type of person where, like, just the people from my past, I have gotten so upset by their choices, like visibly, like it's hard for me to get over, like where I like obsessively, and then at you certain points you're like, Sarah, but like, what does it matter? None of this matters. This isn't your life. Like, and it's not that you can't care about people, but it's like you can't care so much where it like affects who you are and how you're behaving and how you're treating other people.
Sure.
You know, and so. And as far as the incest question, I feel
you
like
don't
it
really
just
have to answer that.
it just
I don't know.
depends
It's
on
just,
like how you
it's-
feel about incest. I don't know if it's like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
It's one of those. It's one of those like. I don't know. Who are they really hurting by having a relationship?
Yeah, I think that's also kind of a trope of like the most dysfunctional thing a family could do.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
You know, and you see it in Buried Child, and you see it in Oedipus, and you see it in. I think those are the only two that really come to mind.
Right.
It's on my head, but
Game of Thrones.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that just kind of like amplifies it the most.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the most, probably the most taboo thing.
the most deplorable.
Other
thing that
than-
you can do. Yeah.
Other than probably a father and a daughter being together.
Yeah. Which I mean,
That's probably the worst.
which I mean is like somewhat not alluded to, but basically like the scene between the creepy fiance and the little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The teenage girl. So
Yeah. I did
Yeah.
think think that Bill, Barbara's husband, was gonna be revealed he was like assaulting like Jean. Wait, was that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that was coming, and it never did.
I
No,
just
thank God.
realized,
Yeah.
with the exception of Uncle Charlie, all the men have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping with the wrong people.
And you know what's also so sad about Uncle Charlie? Because he is like, he is good. And
Yeah, he's a good man.
He's a good man, and he did love.
He just smokes a bunch of weed.
Yeah, he loved Beverly, the dad who
Yeah.
killed himself, like so much. Like you
Yeah.
just kept hearing like, yeah, he had his faults, but he was a really good guy, and I loved him a lot. So
Yeah.
can we have some respect? Like he kept
Mhm.
asking for that, and Beverly like did something so wrong against him, and he has no idea. And
Yeah.
I think it's just that's really
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
and he loves his son, who doesn't even know is not a son.
Yeah, he doesn't even know that it's not his son.
Insane. Yeah.
Or they've never talked about it. I guess it's like it's up for interpretation if he does know. That'd be kind of a fun actor choice if you're playing
Sure.
Charles or
Sure.
Charlie to be like, do I know or do I not?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I mean, he says that whole thing of like, we've been married for 38 years, and I've loved all of it. If you keep acting this way, we're not going to make it to 39. I
Mhm.
feel like he doesn't know
Yeah.
based on the way he says that,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
he
for
just
sure.
like refuses. Maybe he just refuses
And,
to
yeah.
talk about it, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
Stifle.
we're gonna have a happy marriage
Yeah, shoved it down.
and not talk about it. Yeah.
The Irish way.
Does this play make an argument for the necessity of like objective morality? That like we need to know what's right and what's wrong in order to live in a functional way in our society? Because a lot of these people I don't feel like they know right from wrong, really, truly.
I think it's just kind of like what works for them. It's like their way of coping with just all the crap that's happening in their life. Like they all have turned to something.
Right. I don't know if it's like, I don't think it's dealing as much with morality as it is with how you're raised affects so much of your behavior, of what you've seen, of what was your example growing up, and like you see that so clearly in all the daughters of like their kind of like response to that. So how trauma affects you later in life is like kind of what I took away. And they're so lost because they didn't, and maybe it is because they didn't have good people truly.
Right. They don't have they don't have like some kind of moral compass.
Yeah.
To guide them.
Okay. So I see what you're
so
saying.
it is. I think it's asking that question:
Mm.
do we need objective morality to function? And I don't know. I think the answer is. I I don't know. Maybe that's too simple of a question for this play, but
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's like fair. What objective morality? Like, how do you even? What do you mean? I don't know. I just think things are like really complicated.
Right, but we know that like killing someone is objectively wrong, right?
Yeah.
That's evil.
Yeah.
But then it calls into
I hope
question
they know
is
that.
like right. I do hope they know that, right? But then but you know, does Violet know that? Because she basically lets her husband kill himself.
I mean, for her own self-interest.
For her own self-interest, exactly. Yeah.
But she was also super high at the time.
Yeah, I guess she does kind of say.
Guess.
Yeah. Like out of her mind, like she wasn't like thinking clearly.
But here's a question: do you think she actually would have prevented it if she wasn't high? Because she does say like, I didn't really have my wits about me because
I think that's a lame excuse. I think even if you're high and you know someone's really in danger, you're probably gonna do something, right?
Yeah.
I think she made a choice not to do anything,
and she just kind of uses it.
But
as an
also,
excuse.
we don't know how many times he's a poet, he's a drunk, he's gone off before. Like,
I guess I could see Violet making that choice. I guess we don't, as the audience, we don't know 100% what the note said.
Yeah.
We don't know, we never see that scene. So.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of not cool, but I think it's a good choice that we don't know what it is, and it's like Barbara kind of pieces it together, like, oh, you could have prevented it, and you chose not to. Which makes it, I think, more tragic.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it's complicated. This play's complicated, man.
Yeah, we could go on talking about it all day long. Did I have one more question?
Yeah.
No, I didn't really.
Okay.
I did. I mean, like, I wanted to know what you guys thought. Like, what's next for Barbara? It's in the sequel. What does Barbara do?
Huh.
You love Barbara.
August.
Well,
August Osage County too. It's called September.
Well,
Osage
here's
County.
the thing. So they left us out of the movie, but there's like a little, not a thing, but like the sheriff and her have a conversation.
Ah, yes.
Because he comes to announce that like they found the body, and he tells Barbara like, I hate this part of my job, like especially because I know you, and like I always knew the Weston girls, and I hate like telling people that someone that they love is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And he like comes in later. I can't remember why he comes in later. Maybe he just like comes to call them. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then him and her just kind of have like a conversation, and she's like, "Oh, you look really good." And then he's like kind of acting awkward, and she's like, "You're supposed to tell me that I look good." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you look good."
Nice.
And then he like asks about like her divorce, because he's like, I think, kind of suspicious of it. And he's like, "Is your husband still here?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Can I like take you out for lunch?"
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I can't remember actually what she said. I can't remember if she says she will or not, but
yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe I think if she had stayed, I think if she had stayed, it would have been like, I don't know if her and the sheriff would have gotten together.
Right.
It's kind of the idea of like maybe even a friendship of like,
sure,
have someone kind of here, and he's also like a caring guy, like
yeah.
So I don't know what's next for her.
Great.
Yeah, I think she's gonna go on a journey of like finding herself.
You think
she'll
be
nice?
And
I don't think that involves like being in her daughter's life.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. There's some bridges to repair there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But she doesn't get back together with Bill. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's sad.
Because she does love him still right now.
She does.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to see more of that.
Yeah.
They cut a little bit out of the movie.
Yeah.
A little.
That's what you get. That's what you get for only watching the movie. Anyway.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Willie.
I had listen.
It's all right.
It was on Monday. I had every intention of reading the play. I really did. But then it was Saturday. And I hadn't done it yet.
And
so.
before I knew it, time had run out.
Time goes by.
Shall we cast the freaking play?
Let's cast the freaking play. Play the music. Brought to you by Andrew Wright.
Cast the freaking play.
Let's do this. So, I don't have a cast. Am I making every decision here? It's you guys, you two versus each other, and then I get to decide.
Gabe and I are battling it out.
This is exciting.
Who do we want to start with?
One of the lesser known characters.
I just want to give a shout out real quick that Jonah, the Native American, I it was kind of casting, but you were trying to cut down on like, the smaller characters like her and the sheriff. And so, but I do want to say it's very hard to find a Native American celebrity actress,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah.
offensive and should be changed and horrific. I'm like, why don't we have more
Well,
representation like that?
I think they're like when I looked that up, a bunch showed up, and I was like, oh, I've just like never heard of them.
Yeah.
Before. So like they're around.
There's like a round, but it's
Yeah.
like, not as like well
no-
known, if you
they're
will.
not- exactly.
Where
There are no
it's
roles
like,
for them.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah.
small like bit kind of things,
Sure.
but not like,
yeah,
oh,
which is
they're in this
which is-
HBO show.
needs to be changed.
Yes. So I just want to make that blanket statement. Okay.
Great.
Love it.
Should we do like Karen and Stevie?
Great.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah. Or do we care about like the three sisters? Like, do we care about that, or are we just going like
Oh, of
as far
course.
as like
yeah.
no,
Yeah,
as far
yeah.
as like looking alike and like are
Oh,
we choosing like
looking alike, I didn't try very
Okay,
hard.
no.
cool.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We can fix that with makeup. And
Yeah.
Stuff.
All right, let's start with Stevie. I chose Gerard Butler.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Like it. I don't hate it.
I
Spooky.
thought of him and I was like, nah.
Okay, that was just mean.
All right.
I don't know.
Who
I
you
can't-
got?
because
Who you
he's
got?
so freaking Scottish. It's
Yeah.
like I have a hard time like seeing.
But
him
he's
in
like
Oklahoma.
really hot and older.
That's true. I
Yeah.
have Sam Rockwell.
Ah, that's good.
Ah,
That's tough. That's
that
tough.
is- Good.
Mostly because I thought of him because I
Dang
was
it,
like he
I
has
love him.
somewhat of a creepy quality.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I thought of Robert Downey Jr.
I thought about him, but then I was like, I feel like he has too much of a thing.
He has too much. It's too much Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For
it's
that-
hard
that
not
type
to
of
see him as a
role.
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
I'm definitely gonna go with Sam Rockwell. Sorry.
I just like his greasy quality.
That's fair. I
Yeah.
just thought I loved the guy who played it in the movie because he was just
Yeah.
My best friend's wedding is like a movie that was very formative in my teenage years, and he was in that, and I was like, he's so hot.
It is gonna be really hard to not compare just every
Yes.
I know.
every person to
Just
what they
so-
played in the
yeah.
movie.
I know.
Those listening, just so you know, we didn't cast anybody who was in the movie. Like
Yeah.
so there's nobody who was
Yeah.
in the movie that's in our cast.
But it is gonna be like whoever gets Violet, it's gonna be like, well, is that just discount Meryl Streep?
yeah. Well,
Woof. Everyone is
I don't know.
discount Meryl
I'm
Streep.
really
TBH.
excited.
True.
I'm really excited about mine. That's
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Ooh,
All
okay.
right, here we go.
Karen.
Karen.
For Karen, I chose Kaylee Koku.
Kuoku?
Oh,
What?
from Flight Attendant.
From Flight Attendant.
Flight
main
Attendant,
girl.
8 Simple Rules.
She seems kind of young.
big.
She
big
is.
Bang Theory.
I totally. Mine like kind of it veered a little younger. She's only like because Karen's the youngest at 40, and Kaylee's
she, like, in her 30s?
35.
Okay.
So like
Oh yeah,
She
only
can pull it
5
off.
years different.
Great.
Yeah.
I wasn't like super like she's a really good like mine. I chose Jessica Chastain. I just
No.
think she's a really good actress, but like I wasn't super confident
outta
about
here.
my choice.
Get
yeah.
out of here.
No, that doesn't
Yeah.
work for me.
Yeah.
I definitely
I
go
felt
with Kelly.
strong. Kaylee.
Kaylee,
I
sorry.
felt the strongest
I-
about Kaylee of my whole cast.
I got very-
I honestly I would probably choose her.
I got
over
very
mine.
serious.
Yeah.
Who I thought of was Kristen Chenoweth. Would be interesting.
I feel like you've tried to cast
Hmm.
Kristen Chenoweth like
Really,
3
I just
different
can't.
times,
I just
and
can't not
Be
see
kinda
her
funny.
never-
as like a shrill.
she is a shrill.
Singer.
I mean, yeah. Definitely.
Which I know. I think that would play. I think that would
Yeah.
play interesting.
Yeah.
So I definitely choose Sarah's
Thank
pick for
you.
that.
Are we doing? We're just gonna keep going with the sisters.
Should we do? Yeah, we can. Or we could do Charles and Maddie too. Or what do you think? Or,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be
Charles,
okay
yeah,
with that.
Charles and Maddie Faye.
Okay, so let's start with Charles. I actually went with Tracy Letts. I want him
Ooh,
to see his own work.
I almost
Whoa.
did that. I
Yeah.
almost did that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's controversial, but I
Revolutionary.
love it. I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever done that before.
I know.
Um,
Put the playwright in.
That was good.
See how he
yeah.
does.
I
See if
cast
he can.
Richard Jenkins.
Don't know who that is.
Oh,
You'd recognize him.
Okay.
yeah.
He's in a lot of things. He's not like known for any particular thing. He's just like in everything.
You know the type.
You know.
the type. Oh crap! That's not this guy.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Like,
Yeah.
he just see him as like a very like fatherly.
Shape of Water, Eat, Pray, Love.
He definitely is in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good choice.
Dear John. I'm just kidding.
I honestly I like both her choices.
Yeah.
I don't
Wait,
know.
who did you say, Sarah?
Tracy
Tracy
Letts.
Letts.
Oh yeah, I gotta go.
Playwright
Gotta
himself.
go with Tracy.
The
Gotta-
I don't
playwright.
even
meta.
know. I don't
Gotta
even know
go
what he
meta.
looks. I don't even know
Yeah.
what he looks like. So
2-1. Okay.
You're keeping score. That's hilarious.
We lost.
Maddie Faye.
Natty Faye. I chose Allison Janney.
I almost cast her as well.
ooh,
I'm
Okay.
not as confident about mine. I would just like to see Glenn Close do it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
mm,
who's
yeah,
gonna win.
yeah. Allison Janney for sure. Sorry, Gabe.
In my mind, even before I saw the movie, I pictured her as short.
Mm.
Maddie Faye.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I thought Glenn Close, because I'm like, she's not very tall. From
I
what
love
can
the
remember.
actress. The actress who plays her in the movie is really good.
Yeah,
She's
so
in the
good.
she's in the Americans. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
She's a really
Queen.
good actress.
Yeah.
you
I love it.
And I feel like she plays a lot of characters like that.
Mm.
You know.
Ivy and Little Charles.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I'm actually really.
I'm
excited.
actually really excited as well.
I think the casting of Benedict Cumberbatch in that movie is insane and so weird.
I loved it.
Did you like it though?
No, not
Did you-
really.
Oh.
I mean, I was like okay with it. I was like, yeah, I guess. But this was wasn't this kind of before he really got big, right?
No.
This was
To be in this movie,
2014.
was this in the middle? It was at the very beginning of like the Sherlock phenomenon, right?
That was like kind of in the middle.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was mid.
he'd been in Sherlock
Yeah,
already.
he's like a name.
Okay.
I feel like you had to be
I
like
liked
all
seeing-
these like.
I liked seeing him
Just
as
Stellar.
a
random. Just like we're gonna put this British guy in here.
sure. I liked seeing him as an atypical.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, casting
I mean, I
choice
didn't.
for
I
that.
didn't
When
hate
he
it. I
like
guess
was
I was like,
crying, I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
felt so
that
sorry
scene
for
with the
him.
dad.
Yeah.
I thought he was great.
Okay, Sarah.
So I don't agree. Sorry.
okay. No, I
Um,
just think
Ivy.
it was weird.
Ivy, Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sure.
Interesting.
Gabe's face.
It's funny because so many of these names that you're saying, I like thought of them for different parts. And
Mm. Did you
Who'd
think
you
of Did you
choose?
think of Lionel Barrymore?
no,
Oh.
I chose Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Mm.
Mostly because I
I
like.
feel like we both had like very like similar type faces.
I chose her mostly because I could see her as. I tried to choose an actress who could pull off the whole like, Violet saying, "You are good looking, but you like don't take care of yourself," and like
Mhm.
you don't want to cast someone super glamorous looking. I want to cast someone who like.
Come on, Drew
I mean,
Barrymore.
I like Drew Barrymore a lot.
No, I do too.
But that was not a flattering picture.
That's really tough.
That's Ivy.
That's really tough.
But she has kind of a quality of like
Yeah.
a little bit of like pity and
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. I think both of them. I think Maggie and Drew do. So
Yeah,
I think we
yeah.
both.
I think we nailed that.
Yeah, I think we have a good time.
Yeah.
Great.
Will, it's up to you.
I'll
you
go
think?
with Maggie.
Nice.
Not for any particular reason. I actually don't love either choice, but you know,
Okay.
you got to
okay.
work with what you got.
Okay.
God, you're
And I'm
so...
working it with a bunch of peasants here.
Okay.
Will's
little,
really tired today. Okay,
no,
so we
I.
have
Oh my
Little
gosh.
Who do you have for Little Charles? I'm
Little
very
Charles.
curious.
I'm actually really excited about this. Okay, so I have Cillian Murphy.
Interesting.
Another British
Interesting.
guy.
He does have. Okay.
But he's like sad, like
He is sad.
You-
He's got sad boy. Yeah.
yeah, he's sad boy, and he was in Inception, which
Mhm.
come on, American much, you know? Just
Uh,
kidding.
Oh, perfect segue. Speaking of Inception, mine is also from Inception. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Interesting.
I mostly chose
Another
him
sad
because
boy.
I mostly chose him because he looks very boyish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He does have a because we
That's
saw
just the
him
way
in the
I-
trials of Chicago 7. I was like, I don't believe you as a lawyer because you still look like you're 22.
Yeah, I saw him in like Angels in the Outfield in like
Yeah.
the early '90s, and he was like,
Oh, yeah, that's
like
right.
12 or something.
That's
you know?
right.
Um,
I like Sarah's choice here a little better.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
it's
I
his
mean.
long
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
it's
his-
the long hair.
Well, no. Your choice is it Cillian Murphy?
Cillian
Cillian-
Murphy.
Killian?
Killian
I think it's
Murphy.
Killian. I think it's
Killian.
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 He's just. I mean, he acts the shit out of everything. Like
Yeah.
he's so good.
He's really good.
He's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah,
So
he does have a sad
I think
quality.
he's
about
definitely
him, though.
better than Joseph.
Yeah.
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Also, I know you didn't cast Jean, but
Yeah.
I did, and I was just kind of proud of my choice.
Yeah.
So I chose Elsie Fisher.
I know that name, but I can't place. The
Yeah, you
face.
do. Remember that great film that Bo Burnham directed?
8th grade.
8th grade. She
Ah.
is the lead in that.
Oh, I didn't see that movie, but I
Yeah. Very
recognize
good.
her.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I felt
I like that.
pretty proud of it, you know?
I like that
And
choice.
she's still like very little.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're not competing for that.
I-
Next, should we do Barbara and Belle?
Yeah, I really like my Barbara choice.
I do as well.
Barbara.
Okay, so Barbara,
Okay, you guys better be careful. This is probably my favorite character.
I think that's very clear. I think my Barbara is really good. It's Carrie Mulligan.
Interesting.
She's really young, isn't she?
No, I mean she's like 40 something, I
Really?
think, or like 30.
I still picture her as like 25.
No, is she here? Let me look her age. She is. Dun, da, da. Okay, well she's 35 too. But you know what?
How old is Barbara's supposed to be 50?
No,
Like
she's in her
46.
40s.
Like
46.
I don't think she can pull off-
Whatever. Did you think
She doesn't-
Julia Roberts was 46? Did she look 46 to you in that movie?
She's
Yeah.
older,
No.
so yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did.
Oh yeah.
Julia Roberts?
Yeah.
In that movie?
7 years ago. Yeah.
No.
She looks old. I mean, she's not like she's not like old and wrinkly and falling apart,
Okay,
but I believe that she's in her 40s.
absolutely not. She's just 53 now.
Well, yeah. So
And that
7
came out
years
7
ago,
years ago.
Yeah,
She was
so she was
46.
firmly in her 40s.
She was 46. Exact age of the
I think
character.
she was really hot and looked really young. Pardon me.
I mean,
Interesting.
she
That's
is very
all.
attractive. It doesn't mean she's not 46.
I'm just saying.
She literally was the age of the character.
She didn't look her age. Hollywood treated her right.
I like my choice better.
Okay.
I chose Judy Greer.
Who's that?
Who is this lady?
No. Get out. Get out.
What is she? What is she even an actress, or what? Would you just
She
find her
is.
on the side of the
Oh
road?
my gosh, she is.
She is
Who the heck is this person?
She is a good actress.
What's
but
she in?
The only thing.
Name one thing.
She was in the recent Halloween from like 2018. She was in
Interesting.
Ant-Man. She's
Also
the mom.
interesting.
in
13
Ant-Man.
going on 30.
Yeah.
Also
Arrested
with Julia
Development.
Roberts?
Yeah.
No, that's
She,
Jennifer Garner.
I chose her mostly. Well, she's the right age, but I chose her mostly because of her vocal quality. She like has like kind of
She was in Planet of the Apes.
an annoying voice. Barbara just in my mind kind of had an annoying voice.
Interesting.
Interesting, very interesting. I gotta go with Carey Mulligan.
Damn.
She's a little young. We can age her up.
Damn.
We can age her up.
Make her look a little tired.
She's fierce. She
I
does
just-
bring a
I-
lot
my
to
bill's
it.
like so much older.
yeah. It's mostly because I just don't know who Judy Greer is, and
Oh. That's fair.
I chose for Bill Jason Bateman.
I could see that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, very solid choice.
Well, yeah,
yes.
yours is like so much better,
Yes.
mostly because of you chose a younger actor. Because
Mhm.
Okay.
I went older. I went with an older actor
Okay.
That's okay.
who.
Whatever.
you
I feel like
recognize
once
him?
people hit middle age, like I can't tell the difference
Yeah.
between like late
Like,
30s,
most
Jason,
people-
50s.
Jason Bateman has looked the same for 20 years.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. I chose this guy who like nobody really knows who he is. Peter Jacobson. He is.
Sounds
He was
like
like
a
one of
kid
the-
I went to grade
He's
school
like one
with.
of the doctors in House.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I just like saw him as like I don't
You
know.
can still choose him.
Well, you
if
could,
you
but
wanted.
now with Carey
Me?
Mulligan, it's like a 20-year age difference.
Yeah. Jason Bateman is the stronger choice. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Gabe.
That's okay.
Sarah's running away with it.
That's okay.
No, I don't think I'm gonna do well in this next thing.
All right.
I'm pulling on Will's Star Wars heartstrings with
Oh,
this
for-
next choice.
For what? For
For Beverly, I chose
Oh, interesting.
Harrison Ford.
No, sir.
Mm.
No, sir. Harrison Ford wouldn't do it.
I
You'd be like,
I don't know.
You'd be like,
I
Harrison
The
Ford.
only one scene in the beginning.
Harrison
Give me
Ford.
a break.
Harrison Ford would be like, how much are you
Yeah.
gonna pay me for that? Ooh, less than $1 million.
Um,
Sorry, not doing it.
I almost honestly went with Sam Shepard, but realized he was in the movie,
Yeah.
And he's dead.
and he's dead.
And he's also dead.
Do you have a rule against dead actors?
No,
It's
not
a
only
light
sometimes.
rule. It's
Yeah.
like,
light rule.
should we?
Because this
should
will
we
never
not?
really come to fruition, so
Right.
might as well.
Right.
I don't know. I chose Ed Harris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'll go with Ed Harris. Yeah, I can't
Um,
see Harrison Ford in it.
I just love his voice.
Really? I don't get what you have. He like plays like that kind of. I don't think it's out of like reason that he would be like that type of role. You know.
I
No,
think
I don't think
maybe
so,
I
but-
think maybe a younger Harrison Ford would be better
Interesting. Than current Harrison Ford.
than current Harrison Ford. Yeah.
I mean, he's like the right age, isn't he?
Yeah.
Nah, he's
Right
like
now.
78.
I don't know,
Right
he's
now?
78. He's in his 70s. I don't know. If
He's pretty
78,
old.
but-
No.
Well,
You
he-
give me
Yeah.
Harrison Ford. You give me like Air Force One Harrison Ford. Be like, yeah, game on.
When he's like in his 40s.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be like 65.
Age him up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. He's 78, but you know
He's
what?
7. Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah,
so
he's-
crazy.
Yeah, he's
That's
getting up
nuts.
there.
I'm not gonna cast Mark Hamill, all right?
I didn't ask
Don't
you
ask
to.
me to.
Okay.
Also,
who's
Mark
your-
Hamill wouldn't be a terrible choice.
He's a terrible actor. I
He would.
don't like Mark Hamill.
He would.
Sorry.
I mean, he would butcher it.
yeah. Sorry.
But as far as look,
Gabe, you.
who
I
is
think you
your-
win.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, you won.
I was already moving. I was like, I want to know who your Violet is.
Okay.
can I? Well, it's funny that you brought up Harrison Ford because while I was watching the movie, I was like, Carrie Fisher could have done this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Be Violet.
Yeah.
She's a
Yeah,
quality
yeah,
about her.
yeah.
I think she could have.
Yeah. She's got a history of drug abuse, so she could have
Yikes.
brought that into it.
All right.
I also thought of Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I would have loved to see Liza.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Love that.
So my Violet, it's definitely not her usual work.
Okay.
It would definitely be a stretch, but I think there's a piece of her I'd be like, yeah, you are Violet.
Okay.
So I chose Catherine O'Hara, who is
Interesting.
the mom
That's
of
who I-
Schitt's Creek.
That's who I thought you were gonna choose.
Yeah,
Huh.
Yeah, I
That's
thought of
what I
that during.
chose.
I thought of her during
Interesting
the movie too.
yeah.
So
Is
that's
she,
points.
How old is she? Is she like in her 50s?
Now.
Well, the mom is supposed to be like 60,
Early
to,
60s?
like
or,
early, yeah. So Catherine is age matters. Just kidding. It does. 67.
Perfect.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. She has a light energy about
I
her.
really liked my choice.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just like hyping myself up.
You're perfect.
I chose Frances McDormand. Who's,
Oh, tough to beat.
Yeah.
You know?
Tough to beat.
yeah,
yeah.
she's incredible.
She's
I
so
like-
nice though.
No, but she's like in movies.
She
She can
can-
be really.
Really?
Yeah.
What has
was
she been
great.
meaning?
in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing,
She
Yeah.
wasn't that mean. She was like tough.
Yeah, but like, can you imagine that energy in Violet? Like, that would be a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely see Frances McDormand as like a very caring mother figure. Whereas Catherine O'Hara definitely gives off the.
is that because you're thinking of like Fargo, and like?
Yeah, I'm thinking of Fargo. I'm
and,
thinking
like,
of.
Burn
I mean,
After
I am.
Reading?
I am thinking of 3. Yeah, I am thinking of 3 Billboards. I'm thinking of where she is like.
I think it's kind of hard to not see her in like a Coen Brothers type of character. Where,
Yeah.
like, they're all kind of
It's
weird,
tough.
and funky, or caricatures.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought of her because I was like, yeah, she could definitely play like the super bitchy.
Yeah,
mean,
she's
pill
pretty
popping.
good.
she's a good actress.
Catherine O'Hara is
Yeah.
pretty good too. You're right. I don't know. Carrie Fisher. No, just kidding.
No.
Oh, this is really hard, guys.
Best for
Um,
last.
What do you guys think? What if we put a play on and one could play one night and the other could play the other night?
That's not how the movie works. So. Oh, I guess
We'll-
it is
we'll shoot-
cast the freaking play.
We'll shoot 2 of every scene. No, and then switch in between scenes.
Okay, choose.
I'll go with Francis.
Yes.
That's very fine.
Yeah.
Mine was like, because I was looking up even if Catherine had been in serious stuff, and I didn't really see a bunch, but I was like, I would really want to see you in this type of role.
Yeah.
Did you,
You know.
It would be a
did you cast
stretch.
The sheriff.
I didn't.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
Who's your cast?
Mostly because you guys really like him, and I really like him a lot. Bill Hader.
Yes! We love him.
He's in.
I'll
He
cast
got
him
the-
in anything.
He got the job.
He's in my...
Mostly because like I would love to see him play like this very kind, like caring sheriff.
Yeah.
Who, like is kind of awkward and.
Oh, I would
Um,
totally believe him.
yeah.
And sad. He's
I know.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about it. That's a really
Yeah.
good cast. Well, I think we kind of tied.
I think you had.
You
more
think so?
than I did. I think I only got like 3.
Yeah, but you had 3 strong ones.
Yeah,
you
That's
know?
true.
you got Violet at
Mine
the end.
were
She's
light.
worth double.
Yeah, she is.
He's worth done.
All right, Gabe, what are you watching right now?
Oh yeah.
So I just finished WandaVision yesterday.
We haven't
Yes.
finished it.
I, like a true fan, I stayed up till 2 in the morning and watched it.
Oh, you watched it
Wow.
right at midnight.
No, 2 in the morning. It comes out at 2 in the morning. In
Oh, it
Central Time.
does?
Yeah.
Oh, I
stayed
didn't know
up till
that.
2. And
Dang.
I was so ticked because when I first started it, my internet was like blipping
Ah.
out, and I was like, no. And I have it on my phone. I was like, I don't want to watch it on my phone. I like want to watch it on my computer.
Yeah.
But it was really good. You guys haven't seen it yet, have you?
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
the last epi.
It was good.
We're obsessed.
I will say, like, I
Oh,
have.
whoa.
I'm not giving anything away.
Okay.
I have a huge crush on Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
She's like my queen. I would want to be like that. The type she's doing is like
I
my
had a
dream.
dream a few weeks ago that we got married, and
Oh.
I woke up so upset.
I'm so
Aw.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was such a great dream.
I'm rooting for you guys.
So Elizabeth Olsen, if you're listening,
I know you are.
He's
yeah,
available.
no, it was a very like satisfying ending, and
So excited.
it was kind of funny because like I've been watching a lot of like theories about it,
Mm-hmm.
and none of the theories came true.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so it was like kind of funny because like now I'm laughing at all the nerds.
Yeah.
And like I'm not like as super into comic book
Right.
stuff as a lot of people, and so I thought it was like very atypical of Marvel. I really liked it.
Nice.
Very cool.
I always like anytime there's like a Marvel movie or like Star Wars, like you and your brother love like talking about it and thinking like what's gonna happen or like what's the next thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's
And
fun
then
to do. Yeah.
they try to like talk to me about it, and I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna like wait for the next movie and not speculate and just see what I'm presented. And it's just funny because some people like go like fan theory route, or some people are like, yeah, I'm just gonna like, cool, I watched it and I took away what they gave.
For that reason, I've kind of like stopped. I've really tried to stay away from like trailers.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love trailers. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna watch every trailer. But now I'm like, you know what? I just need to know when it's coming out, and I'm good.
That's fair.
Yeah, some of
That's
our
fair.
best movie experiences have been we didn't know what it was about at all.
Exactly.
That's yeah. I think it's somewhat better.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've been watching.
Great.
Yeah, I'm really behind in it, but I want to get back into it. There's this German show on Netflix called Dark.
Oh yeah, we've heard of that. We've been
And at first, like, somebody recommended it to me, and I was like, time travel, really? But it's like very well done, and all the acting's really good, and I really like the aesthetic of it, and it's very dark.
Wow. Great.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool watching something in a very different language.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And I don't know, German's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So
Also confusing.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys
Cool.
watching right now?
We're watching mostly Succession on HBO Max, which is super good.
I mostly heard about it from you guys. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Sarah's rewatching it. Sarah, are you watching anything without me? Nadia
Not-
Bakes.
Yeah, as far as baking shows, Nadia Bakes is in the background lately. I really like her. She got her start on Great British Baking Show, then got her own show on Netflix. So,
Come on.
like, that's the American
Wow.
dream.
Yeah.
Except she's British. But as far as I did find a new or a podcast. So this summer, Will and I got really into Broadchurch. If you guys remember from a very long time ago, past Epi.
Super good.
Who is the starring actor in that?
David Tennant.
Yes, David Tennant has
Oh, wow.
a podcast where he interviews different actors. And I just
Oh, cool.
started listening to it this week. I listened to his Olivia Colman episode because they starred in that together. And then he talked to her about like The Crown and how much that attention is getting. And he also talked to the guy playing Logan Roy. I'm going to listen to that this week. from
No way.
Succession. Yeah. So he interviews like a bunch of like really cool people.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then I listened to Josh O'Connor. He was on a podcast about art because his grandmother's an artist,
Oh,
and
nice.
so he's like really into the art world and art scene. And so literally, just if you wanted to listen to it, just Spotify, just type in Josh O'Connor and it'll pop up. But I kind of got into listening to actors talk about their work this week, and that was fun. I'm not
Sweet.
really watching a new show by myself. It's weird, but it's nice.
There's a really good segment from Vice News that I've been showing my students about leaving Congress. It's like a bunch of exit interviews from Congress people in 2018 as they're leaving Congress, basically.
Wow.
It's really good. And so I've watched that a couple times this week because I had to show it to each of my classes.
Nice.
Wow.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, super good, super good. I think it's called Goodbye Congress.
Classic.
Look it up.
A
YouTube.
musical. I'm just kidding.
Goodbye, Congress. It's been nice.
Goodbye, Congress.
OKLAHOMA. Goodbye.
I wish I was the vice. So president.
Nice.
VP.
I love how that just happened.
Gaby baby, what is our next question? Do you feel hot today?
I do. Mostly because I'm sweating right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's
Yeah.
hot in
Yeah,
our...
it's a little toasty up
No,
here.
I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
You look hot.
You have great
Oh,
hair.
thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beard's all trimmed, nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
well
gotta
done.
you gotta do it.
Love it.
Mostly because it's annoying with the mask getting tangled in my beard.
Mhm.
So,
Ooh, yeah,
Word.
Yeah.
for sure.
I feel that.
do you feel hot
I
today?
don't feel that, actually. I don't have a beard.
Do I feel hot today?
yeah.
No. We stayed up super late last night. I had to
We
get up
did.
early and go to work, or enroll, whatever. It was Saturday work.
Yeah.
So no.
Mm.
But glad to be here, still alive, still kicking. Sarah, do you feel hot today? You certainly look hot.
Thanks. So, yeah, I don't know. It's been a nice, like, very chill Saturday. I kind of like, I like a day at home, and it's so beautiful outside, and like we're kind of just like hanging and chilling, and that's been great. So
Great.
yeah, I feel hot.
Love it.
Gabe, what's your crush?
I mean, Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah. That's very fair.
Honestly, yeah, it's like hanging out with you guys. And like, Last night was super fun.
It
Like,
was.
yeah, it was.
Yeah,
That
we
was
stayed
fun.
up super late, but it was so
We went
fun.
back to our college days and stayed up till 3 in the
Yeah,
morning.
and it
Yeah.
was just like, it was fun to see people that I didn't think I'd see or wasn't sure if I was gonna see when I came down here to visit. So
Yeah.
that was really good. And yeah, I don't know, it kind of hits different during COVID
Yeah.
because you haven't seen people in a while. And yeah,
Totally.
Great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Will, what's your crush?
How about grilling out on the back patio?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
That vibe.
Yep. It's
It's nice.
returned.
My crush is I've been getting into hip hop and rap music.
Whoa.
Which I think we're all surprised about, but
Yeah.
I have
Yes.
felt like I love it. I feel so powerful when I listen to it and I don't get it. Like,
Interesting.
I know
Interesting.
Super Rich Kids is my new favorite song.
Okay.
Maybe we'll put it in the story just to feel something. I don't know.
Let's
we'll
freaking
do
do
it.
it.
Whatever makes you feel powerful, you know?
Yeah.
Music has a way of doing that.
It's really like refreshed my soul in such a weird way where it's felt so foreign. I've never listened to rap
sure.
or hip hop music before, really.
Yeah, I haven't.
And so
really
I've been
either.
listening to it now. And when you get into a new genre of music and I feel like when you
Is-
hear
yeah,
something,
it's very
it
different.
shifts your soul a little
Mm.
bit. And that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did find recently this jazz singer on Instagram, and she's it's kind of jazzy,
Yeah.
mixed with kind of she puts some beats in there, and it's so, and she
It
has this
hits
super
different.
silky, sultry voice, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
between her and Elizabeth Olsen, I'm kind of torn, but
I feel that.
yeah.
Well, guess what? You're gonna have to choose. They're both downstairs waiting for you.
I cast both of them in the show.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah, but
That's amazing.
yeah, new genres of music, so great.
They hit.
Love that.
They hit ya.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
For sure.
Will, are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you. Are you mad at me?
No. Don't love when you're tired, though.
I'm doing okay.
You're doing okay. You're
Okay.
doing all right.
Yeah, that's
Thanks,
fine.
Gabe.
Yeah, thanks, Gabe. Gabe, are you mad at me? I'm kidding.
Now I am.
Oh, God.
No,
No.
no.
No, that's
I'm
good.
not.
That's good.
But I am mad at Will.
Yeah.
Great, Gabe. Why are you mad at me?
No,
Because I'm tired.
I don't actually think I've ever been mad at you.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
I mean,
neither.
I don't-
Now that I think
Gabe, I don't think I've been mad at you. You know.
That's good. I'm glad. I mean, I was mad at Sarah before, and Sarah's probably been mad at me before.
Well, you
you've
guys
been
have
mad
worked,
at me before?
Probably.
been
I don't know.
close.
Yeah.
You've worked closely together on shows and
That's
stuff.
true.
Me
It
and
gets
Gabe.
a little high tension.
Me and Gabe were kind of just like,
Most
you
of
know,
it is,
sometimes we're just exchange friendly pleasantries.
Yes. No, it's
Yeah.
Just that's it. Just
No,
change that.
no. I mean, like, there's
We just got deep,
little
man.
reason for us to have a conflict.
That is true. That is
Yeah,
very
you
true.
we hang out, but
We
like
hang
you,
out. I
you
don't-
You only worked on one show together.
Yeah.
you know.
we didn't work
Yeah.
Yeah.
together. I feel like most of the time that Sarah's been mad, it's mostly just because I haven't told her a life update, and then she's like, "I didn't find out as one of the first 5 people. I'm mad."
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're close with me is if I get mad
So
at you
now
for
I-
not
yeah.
telling me something.
So now I know, okay,
Yeah.
she has to be within the first 5 people.
Yeah, if I
Yeah.
find out from someone else and it's someone close, I'm like, what? I felt
Yeah.
so in the dark.
Excuse me?
What happened? Walk me through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Gabe, I'm not mad at you.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, I know.
The weight off of my shoulders.
I know.
Wow.
I feel it. And I think that's all of our questions.
That's
Yeah.
all we got.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and going on this wild journey of August Osage County. I will say one last thing. The title confused me for years. I only realized today. I was today years old when I realized it was August
Colon.
Osage County. Like, it's August in Osage County.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought before. I was just like, wow, that's like a really cool name.
Yeah, it kind of
When
sounds
I-
like a cool band name.
When
Yeah.
I first heard about the play, I thought it was Orange County, and then I was like, Oklahoma's not Orange County.
I was gravely mistaken.
Yeah.
And one time I tried writing a play, and how far I got was I just wanted to title it August Skin, and Will was like, "Well, August Osage County exists," and I was like, "Well,"
Ah, dang it.
and that's why I never wrote it.
But the story still lives
The
on.
story still lives on.
I'm sorry that I'm the reason that you didn't pursue that.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Anyways, so read August Osage County if you want to feel sad, or if you want to feel a lot. It is a lot. I'm just warning you, but I think it is the requirement if you are interested in being an artist in the theater world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure. For sure.
But like, subscribe, rate our stuff, reach out if you want to be on it. Like, Gabe, like, came in and just told us he wanted to be on it, and now he's here. Like, that's how easy it is. And so, we love you guys, and
good
night.